That right there was DimensionX. Create any 3D or 4D scene from a single image with controllable video diffusion. That looked just like Kendrick Lamar's video, Humble, where he has the changing camera angles from one side to another. Well, now you can do that, well, with AI. With DimensionX, you've seen this video here where this is a woman looking at the camera from a photo, and it's now able to look around the photo. So go up, go down, left, right, and like pan and zoom in and out just from a single image. Not only that, you see that here with this robot arm where it's able to zoom in, zoom out, left to right, pan, and it's able to generate the different angles that would be ideally, I guess, inside the photo. It looks pretty good. Like you wouldn't be able to tell that, okay, panning to the side, that's not like a different camera angle, that somebody didn't take that picture. Even with this house, you see that zoom in, zoom out effect. I think you can see a little bit more for the house, that something looks a little bit off, but it's still in line. You even tilt the camera like from left to right, which is pretty cool. But take a look at this bowl, where it's zooming in and out of this bowl, like adding the details to it. This one looks pretty crisp. You wouldn't even think that like there's anything off about this. And some of these you can tell, but it's not too crazy. Look at this with this like temple. It zoomed all the way out and adding things that wasn't even in the video to begin with. Like when it zoomed out, it had a whole different like arc way. And like when it goes like tilting left to right and going from side to side, you can see there's like the side of the building. Like how would it even know what the side of the building looks like? It's just inferring it from the image. Also look at this glass where it's like zooming in and out, and it's like going behind the glass, and it looks pretty good. It looks like it's a full complete glass. There's not too much distortion within like the image itself, even from the different camera angles. Even look at this where it's like a lakeside view of a building, like a partial view. As it tilts, pans, and moves the camera from left to right, it still does a pretty good job, at least in my opinion. Not only that, but they can have different like prompts for the camera. So for instance, this is actually kind of funny because they're using the Sora demo image, which Sora has yet to come out. You see that in this video, they're using the Sora elephant demo that they had, but you can tell that they can use the camera static, camera orbit, which is moving the camera around the object, or camera orbit, left, right, or camera zoom to give the more camera control to what you're trying to do for this. Also, you can see the same thing with this dog, where if you just want a static camera, you can have just the camera just in one place, stationary, or you can orbit the camera left or right, or you can zoom in and out. Pretty cool to me. Not only that, this is from Lord of the Rings, where you see that they have a camera static here, as well as the camera orbit right and camera orbit left. And I think that adds a lot more depth to the scene, where you can tell like, okay, hey, maybe the camera, panning can add, more emotion to a scene, or add like something different. And this could cut down on like reshoots for like film directors, or even independent film directors, or can even do well with anime. Of course, they had to come back and do another Sora example, but this one is the more iconic one, I think, where it's like the woman with a leather jacket and a dress, like walking down the street. It does have a prompt here, but it is like still pretty interesting to see. But it has the camera static, camera orbit right, and camera zoom in and out, and it's pretty good. I mean, I think the camera zoom in and out in the camera orbit right, you could tell the feet are kind of distorting a little bit, but still not too bad. But also you can do a single view 3D video generator. So in this case where you see this whale doing a whole entire 360 of it, and it's like in a kind of unusual art style, it's able to see all sides of it, but it's definitely a distortion on the side you can't see, but it's still not horrible in my opinion. The same thing with the field. This field right here, you can see that it's like panning around, and you're seeing that it has like all the colors in the sky, and it's pretty consistent with the art style. Even with this one, you see it's panning around this candle, and I like that it's kind of panning around a certain object and not just like panning around the room sometimes. So you can maybe have it prompt to make sure it's panning around the camera. And with this prompt right here at the bottom, these prompts, I just want to point out that they're kind of lengthy. They're not just like a 1 or 2 sentence prompt. They're like basically a paragraph. Same thing with this icy tower right here that's being panned around. It's pretty good, and as well as the detail is like there in my opinion, but geez, like it's like at least 4 to 6 sentences in this tower, but it's still pretty good as far as what you get, because it does cut down on money. Like you don't have to film this yourself, you don't have to animate this yourself, which is not too bad of a trade-off. You see this one with the farmhouse where it's like panning around like the grass, and it's not panning necessarily around the farmhouse, it's more so panning around the environment around the farmhouse. But you also see it with this bunny, where it's actually pretty good. You can tell that like this is more like in line with the art style versus the whale. I think maybe because like this bunny's more realistic, maybe has like a better idea of what the backside or the other side looks like of the rabbit versus like the whale, where it's like different color, different art style. It's like, what is this going to really look like on the other side? But like you see, even with this Oval Office, the desk of the president looks like almost. As it goes around, you can see a little bit more detail. It does have some distortion in the back, like with the curtains and the windows and stuff, but overall, still pretty good. And the prompt is still decently lengthy. Also, you see the environment here, like at night, like a nice little calm night, but it has that pan around effect. And I can just see this happening for like an anime. Like you want to keep the quality of the anime, but you may not want to, you know, spend time panning around and having to rewrite every single angle. Very time consuming. This one makes me a little bit hungry. It's almost that time of year for Thanksgiving. And this is pretty realistic. I can see somebody using this like for a commercial, like a Starbucks, where they're like pumpkin spice. And then you see this one with the capybara, where you see it like panning around. This doesn't look as realistic as the others when it comes to the animal. Like as the rabbit, it looks more like an artwork to me than it does like a real thing. But not only that, you can also see it do with like 2 inputs. So instead of just having one, you can have 2 inputs, and you see it spinning around this table. This table is, I guess, used in a lot of training data because this was used in the last video, but it's panning around the table like pretty well, and it's being consistent on all sides. Same thing with this statue, where it has the statue, but it only does about like half, it doesn't go all the way around, but from what you can see, it does look pretty good. And then even with this bike, you see that the bike is leaning against the bench, but once it goes to the other side of the bench, it does not just does a black mask, it shows you like the whole entire, you know, bench. You know what I'm saying? Like even with like the detail and understanding that this is a bench, this is a part, this is a bike, and keeping it consistent there. Even with this horse right here, you see that it's a little bit of a distortion once it gets to the other side of the camera angle, like the foot kind of disappears, but still pretty good altogether, especially the fact that like you don't have to animate none of this. And this Lego truck I think is really good in its like realistic photo. It's not like as animated as some of the other ones, or not as realistic as some of the other ones, but still very good. And then this one is like almost looks like a normal panoramic view or 360 view, with some blur at the edge of the video, but it's pretty good. But not only that, you can do 4D scene generation, where you see in this video right here, where they have a front video, a novel video view 1, a novel video view 2, and a novel video view 3. The front one is just a normal straight on shot, but the video 1, video 2, and video 3, one's like a little bit to the right, the other one's a little bit to the left, and the third one is like a little bit zoomed back, and you can tell how much more you can see of the video. And this is like a realistic video, so if you had your own YouTube channel or you're an independent filmmaker, you kind of want to break up the camera angles a little bit, this may be really good. As well as it's pretty consistent, and it's still like being able to show like things that wasn't there. Like in the novel video 1, you see that like it has that cup, and it's still pretty consistent with it. It's not perfect by any means, but maybe if you're having a video, a lot of people may not be able to just tell off the bat that this is AI generated. Now look at this. Now this is like from some type of animated video. I think this is some type of movie. I don't know the movie off the top of my head, but You can tell that this little fluffy bear demon thing is like reaching towards the camera, but you can tell that it's using different camera angles. So one is a front video, the other one is the novel video 1, video 2, and video 3. And you can tell one's like a little bit more zoom back, one's a little bit more to the left, and one's a little bit more to the right, but it keeps pretty consistent even with like the pause and everything. Some distortion here and there, but it's not too bad. The prompt is like kind of lengthy as far as what you have to prompt, so you may have to really be really good at prompting or good at talking to AI to get the prompt that you may need, but still not bad overall, because I'm a big anime fan, and imagine using this to get more anime or to cut down on the budget so we can get more episodes, which is, you know, I'm all for. But not only that, you can also use this right now because there is a Hugging Face up right now for you to use DemoX. I'm gonna leave you with a video of me trying out DemoX and the Hugging Face. That being said, Dex Not Dexter out.